Resperation, exchange of gases, control release of energy, and breaking down glucose.
Most of these processes require energy in the form of ATP. Every cell produces its own ATP by a process called cell respiration. Can we take?
Okay, so there's two kinds of respirations, anaerobic and aerobic. Anaerobic is no oxygen evolved, and in aerobic there is oxygen evolved. Okay, when that happens, after glycolysis, which we are going to say something about later on, we have pyruvate, and then the products is lactate for humans. And if we, for example, take yeast in an experiment, for example, you will get carbon dioxide and ethanol. So, when you have aerobic with oxygen, you will get Okay, so the first step in cell respiration is glycolysis. It's where the glycolysis or the glucose is transformed into pyruvate. And this kind of pathway is catalyzed by enzymes in the cytoplasms. There is 4 phases in the glycolysis. The first phase is where 2 phosphate groups are added to a molecule of glucose to form a hexose biophosphate. And by this, they're adding a phosphate group is called a phosphorylation. Yes. In the second one, this biophosphate is split to form 2 molecules of triose phosphate. Splitting the molecule is called lysis. The third phase is where 2 atoms of hydrogen are removed from each triose phosphate molecule. This is an oxidation. And oxidation is where you add oxygen atoms to a substance and remove hydrogen atoms and electrons. Well, so the third phase is where there is oxidation. The energy released by this oxidation is used to link on another phosphate group, producing a 3-carbon compound carrying 2 phosphate groups. And we have the NAD+, which is the hydrogen carrier that accepts the hydrogen.
Into 3 parts. In the first part, the Krebs cycle begins when a 2-carbon fragment is transferred from acetyl CoA to a 4-carbon molecule. In the second part, the resulting 6-carbon molecule is oxidized. A hydrogen is removed to form NADH and decarboxylated, a carbon removed to form CO2. Next, the 5-carbon molecule is oxidized and decarboxylated again, and a coupled reaction generates ATP. In the third part, the resulting 4-carbon molecule is further oxidized. Hydrogen is removed to form FADH2 and NAD.
The last phase in respiration is the electron transport system. It's where the electron transport chain is it's a series of electron carriers which is located in the inner membrane of the mitochondrion. NADH supplies 2 electrons to the first carrier in the chain, and then the electrons come from oxidation reactions in earlier stages of cell respiration. Also, from the Krebs cycle, the energy released as electrons pass along the electron transport chain and is used to pump protons, which is the hydrogen, across the inner mitochondrial membrane.
Krebs cycle, there's 4 CO2 produced, 2 ATP, 6 NADH, and 2 FADH. And the total of CO2 produced is 6. And here we have a total of 4 ATP, and 10 NADH and 2 FADH. However, we have to times the NADH by 3 and the FADH by 2, thus giving 34 plus the 4 produced equaling 38 ATP.